Hi, this is Rick Savitsky from Chortek. In this video, I'm going to explain a technique that you can use to make the data that you have in your business more relevant and more actionable for your employees, for your managers. And the reason for sharing this is sometimes individual managers, salespeople, project managers may not be heavily engaged using canned systems, canned reports in your ERP or CRM system. Or if you've deployed modern data analytics, they may think, yeah, this is great, but it's just not quite relevant for me. I have to click too many times to filter it for what I need to see. Or I can't even find the filter to see what I need to see, and so it's kind of not worth it. Well, I'm going to explain and show techniques of how you can remove those barriers. I'm going to start with an illustration. It's primarily geared towards salespeople in this case, but it would be equally applicable to project managers or supervisors that are responsible for acting on the data that you collect in your business. So what do I mean? Here's a typical page. This is for a real Chortek customer, salesperson centric, total information about open quotes, backlog, color coding on close percentages in blue, profitability of jobs in green, open jobs, late jobs, list of potential projects, etc. This is in the aggregate. So the manager, the owner, etc., the sales manager can see this. The very same page is filtered for salesperson B and salesperson C, and so on. It's the very same page, but instead of all of the data, it's just limited to the information that they should see based on their salesperson ID, based on the email address of when they're logging in to look at the page. So that's the idea, and it applies if we're looking at jobs, on-time delivery, you name it. So how do we actually do it? Well, without getting too technical, we deploy Microsoft Power BI. One of its powerful features is to define a role and then map, in this case I'll just show on screen here, map individual people to, based on their email address, to records within the ERP or the CRM system. So salesperson ID is X, their email address is blah, blah, blah. When they log in, it's going to automatically filter jobs, customers, quotes based on their ID. It's almost that simple. Sometimes there's pushback, like when we're trying to deploy this, like, well, our data is not so good. We're not consistent. Sometimes the quotes get entered, but the right salesperson ID doesn't get entered or reflected. Those are all great examples of reasons of why data hygiene is so important, and you can put techniques in place to address it. But real world, worst case scenario, as long as there's some way of filtering and correlating salesperson or project manager with a list of customers, jobs, projects, even if it's got to be manual in Excel until data gets cleaned up, it's possible to use this technique. So I'm going to just walk you through a few very, very simple examples here of pages. These are all going to be in the aggregate. I'm not going to do the A, B, filter, non-filter, but you kind of get the idea of where pages that are very helpful to look at as a whole can then easily be filtered and more relevant for people that are responsible for taking action, responsible for investigating and figuring out why is that, and then also responsible for improvements. So I'm going to do a real quick fire hose run through here. This is a page that's looking at profitability over whatever time period by subsets of customers, based on job size, based on the type of manufacturing. The darker the green, the more profitable. The less green, the lesser profitability. The bigger the rectangle, more gross dollar profit. Smaller rectangle, smaller. So of the 2,100 jobs in this time period, the idea is, all right, well, I'll have the project manager or the salesperson or the estimator responsible for the subset, the 500 jobs or the 700 jobs or whatever. Let them see their data. That's an example. A lot of the pages we deploy are essentially variations of the same thing. So here's a scatter plot of profitability. Darker the green, more profitable. less screen, and so on. The idea here is, hey, out of the whole 926 jobs, let's just have someone that's responsible for the 50 or whatever, focus on those. And again, that's just automatic based on their ID. A lot of the pages, again, focusing on profitability. So here's a trend of profitability, looking at, say, B customer profitability versus C customer. That same analysis can be done just for salesperson or project managers. So in short, using the visuals that have been built, it's very easy to filter pages that are specific to the person that's designed or responsible for taking action. I'll leave with one final example here. Customer concentration is key for the health of a business, meaning not being too concentrated in a small number of customers. Looking at a very high customer concentration here. This is in the aggregate. Let's say the objective is to make the company less reliant on the biggest customers, and instead of doing that in the aggregate, you want each salesperson to look at their subset, their bottom 10% roughly here, as still made up of a large number of customers. Put the incentive in place to grow that portion of the business so that the business grows and the concentration can start to decrease. And instead of looking at all the customers, another example where it can be easily segmented into X number of salespeople or X number of project managers. So the main idea here is, if it's in the data and we have a good correlation between user A and what would be a logical way of filtering it for them, let's build it, deploy it, and have your employees be more effective and take more action. If this is helpful, please like the video, please share it with somebody else, comment on it, or reach out. We'd love to talk to you. Thanks a lot. Bye.